When worldviews in coaching cross the line. How a coach friend influenced a marriage's demise. In the complex world of self-development and spirituality, ideas are often shared, adapted, and integrated into everyday life. For many, this process can feel empowering and transformative. But what happens when these ideologies subtly or overtly influence personal relationships in ways that cause irreparable harm? This is a story of how a coaching friend whose worldview mirrored and validated a spiritual journey played a pivotal role in reshaping a marriage and ultimately helped dismantle it. A trusted ally and a supportive partner, a close friend to the wife, she introduced practices like gratitude journaling, morning dances, and other spiritual routines that were part of her own ideology. These practices, while seemingly harmless, began to permeate the wife's daily life. The husband, skeptical of pseudoscience, remained supportive as he always had. He encouraged her weight loss efforts, the last of many over the years. They met at a BNI event 10 years prior and somehow, as coaches do, became experts at networking. They collaborated in a networking program they jointly delivered. Her husband not only created the website, the video of the event, the testimonials afterwards, and more. He even went out of his way to help her coaching friend troubleshoot website issues at a time she needed it. At that time, the coaching friend saw him as an incredible husband, a reliable partner who not only supported his wife but also extended his help to their joint ventures. After all, he was a stay-at-home parent who managed the household as well, ironing, washing, groceries, cooking, household maintenance, etc. He was appreciated and praised for his contributions, embodying what one might consider an ideal supportive spouse. Another coaching friend at the time posted to Facebook, "Where do you find one like him?" Subtle shifts and changing narratives. But as the wife delved deeper into her spiritual journey, guided by her coaching friend's practices and beliefs, the dynamics began to shift. The friend's influence, whether direct or subtle, started to reshape how the wife viewed her life and relationships. Practices like gratitude journaling, essential oils, became part of a growing belief system that prioritized spiritual alignment over relational compromise. In the eyes of the coaching friend, it can be assumed the husband's skepticism, his unwillingness to fully embrace these practices or share in the spiritual worldview, transformed him from a supportive partner into a mismatch. The same man who had been praised for his unwavering support was now framed as incompatible with his wife's newfound path. This reframing was not only hurtful but deeply disorienting for the husband, who had always believed their differences could coexist. At what point does someone who loves her husband go from "I'd marry you again" to "I don't want to save this marriage," or "this marriage is just a stepping stone to something better" in the space of 4 months, without some support away from the workplace that was also an echo chamber as well? She was not just acting as a friend, she was using her own coaching ideologies to enhance her friendship at the expense of someone's marriage. Replacing the partner, when the wife declared the marriage over, the coaching friend's role expanded. She became the wife's confidante, the person she turned to in every moment of doubt or turmoil. The husband, meanwhile, was left to grapple with the fallout of the marriage while his wife relied on her friend for emotional support. In every respect, the coaching friend replaced the husband, except when the wife didn't want her to know something. There was the moment of asking her friend, "Why am I doing this?" with the reply of "to be the best you can be and bring out the goddess within." Was this her personal view or coaching view? To add confusion to an already confusing situation, this coaching friend encouraged her to sign up to a 21-day manifesting challenge with Gabby Bernstein. A great idea for someone who by this stage had changed her mindset so quickly that she was not acting as her authentic self. For example, during the mixed messages phase, when the wife oscillated between reconciling and distancing, there were moments she kept from her coaching friend. These omissions revealed a layer of duplicity, a compartmentalization of relationships that served her evolving narrative. The coaching friend, for all her influence, was not privy to every detail, but she was there to validate the decisions the wife did share, reinforcing her worldview and the choices stemming from it. Adding to this dynamic was another old coaching friend who had shifted her own career focus to kinesiology. Someone the husband had no personal contact with was another voice reinforcing the mismatch narrative. After the wife's affair ended, she even sought guidance in 2 Zoom therapy sessions, further entrenching this worldview echo chamber. This chorus of validation from her social and professional circles became an even bigger echo chamber, amplifying her decisions and silencing dissenting perspectives. When worldviews become dangerous, there is nothing inherently wrong with sharing worldviews or engaging in spiritual practices. Many find joy and fulfillment in these pursuits. However, when such ideologies begin to dominate decision-making, justify destructive behaviors, and alienate individuals from their families, they cross the line from passive influence to active harm. In this case, the coaching friend's beliefs, framed as empowering and transformative, became a catalyst for dismantling a marriage. Practices like gratitude journaling and her coach friend's reasoning of to be the best you can be and to bring out the goddess within were more than personal rituals. They became tools to justify a narrative that prioritized self-fulfillment over relational integrity. The coaching friend's worldview, once shared passively, became cult-like in its ability to reshape priorities, validate drastic choices, and isolate the wife from her family. Red flag for her coaching friend's ideology. I'm not in this to make $1 million. I'm in this to share the gift of gratitude and passion and purpose archetype so that I can raise the vibrational energy of this planet. There you have it. The danger of echo chambers. The echo chamber created by the coaching friend and others in the wife's life, including a workplace steeped in similar ideologies, amplified these beliefs. The new job, financial independence, and validation from like-minded individuals gave the wife both the means and the confidence to leave her marriage. The coaching friend's role in this process cannot be understated. She provided the framework, the language, and the support that solidified the wife's decision to pursue her best self at the expense of her family. The silent role of enablers. So where were these enablers when she was feeling insecure after the affair ended? Her husband, albeit struggling mentally and having already attempted suicide, was still there, hoping. He was there sitting on the step beside her as she took his hand and put her head on his shoulder. He was there as they sat on the lounge, their feet touching. He was there until he tried to walk away, having had enough, only to be stopped. She eventually chased him to the train station, stopping him from boarding, telling him he couldn't go, that she still needed him, still loved him, even though she was the one planning to leave in just weeks. And where were the enablers? Oblivious to it all. The turmoil created was not something to share with them. They had to see the hard and fast mindset of change, the right track. The husband still loved her, so he could bear the mixed messages. After all, this person who was going to work and having different conversations about him than she was having with him was someone whose integrity had become deeply fractured. She later claimed she would have lost respect for him if he had just called it quits, sold the house, and walked away. Yet, at the same time, she held him in emotional limbo while confiding in those who validate her choices. Relationships thrive on mutual respect, compromise, and shared history, not identical beliefs or worldviews. But when outside influences prioritize individual growth above all else, they can undermine even the strongest foundations. The story of this coaching friend and her influence is a cautionary tale about the power of ideologies to reshape lives, for better or worse. Sharing ideas is one thing. Elevating them to a level that disrupts families and justifies selfishness is another. When worldviews become so consuming that they replace love, respect, and connection, they are no longer just ideas. They are dangerous.